So in this video, our group will talk about the contrast between Malay and Chinese culture. So let's start. Firstly, what is the meaning of culture? So actually, culture is the characteristics and knowledge of a particular group of people which encompasses religion, marriage, food, what we wear, our language, what we celebrate, music, social interaction, and a million other things. Actually, when we talk about culture, our country Malaysia are known as a multi-ethnic, multicultural, and multilingual society. This is because in Malaysia, we are typified by three major ethnic groups, namely Malay, Chinese, and Indians. Department of Statistics Malaysia shows that the population of Malays ethnic in Malaysia is 60%, while Chinese is 25%, Indians is 7%, and others is 0.7%. As you can see, Malay and Chinese have the biggest population compared to Indians and others ethnic. So what's the differences between Malays and Chinese culture in terms of celebration, their food, wedding tradition, and traditional wear? Let's take a look on it.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Shasha binti Asnan from DCE 201013. Now I'm going to talk about contrast two cultures which are Malay and Chinese. The first difference is a celebration between Malay and Chinese culture. A celebration is an activity celebrated by a community or race. Usually, a festival celebrated by a community or nation aims to commemorate important events that have taken place in the past. It also celebrated strengthen the relationship with each other. Hari Raya Aidilfitri is a celebration of the Malays and Muslims, and the Chinese New Year is a celebration by the Chinese community. Next, for Malay culture, a festival begins with fasting in the month of Ramadan. During the month of Ramadan, Muslims fast at the day and perform Tarawih prayers at night. For Chinese culture, on the night of festival, all family members gather to eat together to strengthen family ties. The celebration activity of the Malay culture in Malaysia started by visiting grave, followed by 8 prayers, forgiveness, and visiting our relative and neighbor's house. After that, in Chinese culture, married family members will give angpao to unmarried relatives and friends. Angpao carries the meaning of the lasting well-being, which is a kind of red envelope and fill some of the money. Then the next celebration activity of the Malay culture is an open house will be held to welcome the visitors and serve with a variety of delicious traditional dishes such as ketupat, lemang, kuih bahulu, and so on. After that, mandarin orange and kuih bakul must have when celebrating Chinese New Year. The last one, throughout the Chinese New Year, lion dances are played from house to house and shops to give blessings to those who celebrate the festival. Now we can see the differences in celebration between Malay and Chinese culture, and we as a society need to know about this.
Assalamualaikum, my name Aina Altina. My number metric DCE 201009. So my part is the comparison of food. So let's go. So the comparison of food between the two cultures is not unfamiliar nowadays. Today we can see Chinese people have also sold asam laksa and nasi lemak, while the Malay are food of eating dim sum, chai kway teow, and yong tau foo. Nasi lemak is example which used to be the Malay course, but the time has now become the national dish of Malaysia. It is not only a favorite of the Malay, but also spread by the Chinese. It's has become only famous international has become a trademark of Malaysia. Just mention Malaysia and you will surely imagine the delicious and spicy of nasi lemak. So nasi lemak was only served for breakfast, but nowadays nasi lemak is served as lunch and dinner. It is also served when celebrating various festivals such as Hari Raya and Chinese New Year. So nasi lemak is also accompanied by several side dish as a chicken curry, rendang, sambal, fried chicken, rendang kerang, large spicy sambal and many more. For the Chinese, the main ingredient in their course are mushroom, soy, lotus flower, sesame oil and others. This material will then be processed together with the spicy used by the Malay people like coriander seed, cinnamon and others. A large number of Chinese occurs in our country originates from China as Yong Tau Fu, Char Kway Teow, Dim Sum and many more. This course has been in demand since the 18th country. Lok lok is the only Chinese food that is still sold and is a favorite of the Chinese. Lok lok. Okay, lok lok is the only Chinese food that is still sold and favorite of Chinese. Lok lok, or known as satay celor, is a snack made from vegetable meat and seafood. Chicken rice is not only pioneered by the Chinese but loved by all Malaysia. Chicken rice is served with fried chicken, grilled chicken, or steamed chicken. For the people of Malay, they are more interested in fried or grilled chicken. Steamed chicken will the Chinese prefer. The combined drink for the Chinese is Chinese tea, and their favorite sweet are fresh fruit and nut-based sweet. The Malay also well known for variety other type of sweet ranging from dessert or known as kuih. Most of the Malay dessert are based on gulation, rice and potato. Among the example of popular kuih are kuih seri muka, which is made from gelatinous rice and pandan custard, baked gelatinous rice which gelatinous rice containing coconut flake, bengkak ubi, cucu badak, kuih lapis and so on. This kuih are often served when the wedding ceremony is held as a dessert. Desserts are traditional of the Malay with wajik, dodol, kuih koci, bahulu, dumpling. This is the traditional cake is still popular, especially during the month of Ramadan and Hari Raya celebration. In this culture, Chinese culture, there is also their own food culture. When talking about food, the Chinese are often associated with a mooncake. Mooncake is traditional food for their community. Mooncake is type of Chinese cake that is often eaten during the Mid-Autumn Festival. Mooncake are made from a sweet dough and have a core made from lotus seed or red bean or with a salted egg yolk in the middle. Mooncake are also served during their festival season, the Chinese New Year. The mooncake is very popular in Chinese culture and has become a traditional in their life. Apart from that, the Chinese also have a food called dim bian, which is a kind of food chow food. The Chinese make this food also as a fiber to rice porridge, and it's a mushroom porridge. This food is usually eaten during breakfast or late night. The belief that is a porridge has its own nutrition that can remove heat in the body, and is also nutrition especially for people who are weak in energy. For your contemporary culinary lover, maybe you can have heard of the term fusion food. Fusion food itself is a food creation by mixing two cultures, not necessarily between local culture and external culture, but also between local culture. So the touch of fusion is now written many traditional Malaysian food and attracted the interests in millennia who are additional to the most difficultly to scientific when it comes to food matters. In terms of appreciation, it must integrable, affordable price, easy payment method, and usually online.
Next is the differences in wedding tradition between Malay and Chinese culture. In Malay culture, there are three ceremonies, which are the engagement, solemnization, and actual wedding day. During engagement, the groom's family seeks a spokesman with some relatives and close friends to visit the bride's family in order to seal the engagement by fulfilling the terms and conditions of marriage given by the bride's parents. This also includes the amount of the bride's dowry and engagement ring and a proposed wedding date. After the engagement, it's continued with the solemnization, which is presided over by an imam or religious official and only involve the groom, while the bride is not usually present. Instead, the bride is represented by her father or a male sibling, uncle, or close relative in his absence, and two male witnesses who gives her hand in marriage, and the groom vows to accept. Held not long after the solemnization, it ends with the actual wedding day, which is the groom's arrival is announced by a delegation of relatives and friends, led by a kompang band before he takes his place by the bride on the bridal coach. While in Chinese culture, there are four ceremonies, which are guo dali, hair combing ritual, gate scratching, and tea ceremony. Guo dali is traditional Chinese ceremony and highlights the formal meeting between both families to select an auspicious wedding date. Different to Malay culture, the list of gifts depends on the groom dialect group, which include a can of pig trotter or platter of roast pork, one pair each of dragon and phoenix candles, and jewelry. While the night before wedding in Chinese culture, there is hair combing ritual, which is the couple must find a woman and a man of good fortune to comb their hair 4 times for their wealth, good luck, harmony, and health offspring. On the morning of the wedding, there is a tradition called gate scratching, which is the groom and his entourage will make their way to the bride's house, and he will have to go through several obstacles set by the bridesmaids before he can take the bride. Compared with the Malay culture, among the items that the groom needs to bring with him are a bouquet, a pair of oranges, a hambao, and a roasted suckling pig. And the last ceremony in Chinese culture called tea ceremony, which usually performed at both their family homes and also can be done at the hotel where the couple are holding the reception. This tea ceremony is held after the solemnization and before the dinner. The couple must offer sweet tea to their parents first, then their eldest and married relatives. In return, they will receive hanbaos or gift of gold jewelry. As we can see, there are differences between Chinese and Malay culture in their wedding tradition. There also must be a meaning in each of their ceremony and their belief. So it is important for us to know and respect for other culture too.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Amira Shahila binti Zulkifli. My TIN number is TIL201016. So today I'm going to talk about the comparison between traditional clothing in Malaysia, which is the Malay traditional clothing and the Chinese traditional clothing. First of all, I'm going to talk about the traditional Malay clothing. The image of traditional Malay dress is so important that any changes, adaptation or arrangements made to traditional clothing cannot get away from the original image. The proof, Malay baju Melayu still reflect the personality and continue to be used until now. So, first of all, I'm going to talk about the Malay shirt. Traditional dress for men is the baju Melayu. Baju Melayu is a shirt worn with the loose pants. This dress is usually matched with a side clothes that is tied at the waist and the crochet. Baju Melayu for Malaysians are divided into two, which is baju Melayu Teluk Belanga and baju Melayu Cekak Musang. Baju Melayu Teluk Belanga is usually known in the southern Malaysia. Baju Melayu Teluk Belanga is a cut of the neck. Cut in sewn is in embroidery. To wear baju Melayu Teluk usually worn on the side of the shirts. Meanwhile, the Cekak Musang cut is more famous in central and northern Malaysia. The Cekak Musang cut is the part of the cover or the button house that is overlap. So for women, we got the baju kurung. Baju kurung is commonly known as a loose long shirt, sometimes up to the knee and matched with a long fabric that folds at the edge. The shirt covers the entire body, showing only the face and hands, seen as complying with Islamic dress rules. Baju kurung can be matched with traditional fabrics such as songket or batik. So we usually pair baju kurung with the shawl or headscarf. Baju kurung is suitable to be worn in formal occasion or daily affairs. Other than that, we also in women traditional clothing in Malay, we also got kebaya. Kebaya is the baju blast undergone evolution that has been influenced by the Western. And then the Chinese traditional dress. The first one is samfu. Samfu means shirts and pants in the Cantonese dialect. Samfu is worn by the men of Chinese descent. This shirt consists of a loose and split shirt at the front and high collar and is worn with the loose pants. This traditional dress is not the traditional dress of Chinese. It was introduced during the Qing dynasty. It is a traditional dress for the Manchu people. So the second one is hanfu. Hanfu is the Chinese traditional clothing for the Kaum Han. It is a true traditional dress of the Chinese. So this picture shown is the traditional dress for men. Meanwhile, for the woman, we got the cheongsam. Cheongsam is the classical Chinese woman that is originally laden with a gold and silk thread embroidery. It is now most of them has modified over the time and suitability by the fabric. The cheongsam is got long ropes and also worn in the ceremonies or when they are attending wedding or during also the Chinese women wear during the Chinese New Year. So this shirt was originally long but was eventually short to the new level. The cheongsam was worn tight and split on his left and right. So that's all for me. That's all the comparison between the two cultures traditional clothing, which is the Malay and the Chinese. So I'm going to pass to the next presenter. That's all for me. Thank you.
So in conclusion, we can get to know and understand the difference of Chinese culture and Malay culture, religion, celebration, clothing and food. So it is the responsible for Malaysian citizens to know and learn about culture diversity and accept this culture diversity with an open heart and always protect the uniqueness of the racial universe in our country. So it's all, and thank you so much, and sorry to my voice. So I thank you so much.